What's up, beautiful people? Nathan Clark, Domination Nation Gym. Hey, I'm driving home from work for lunch. I'm going to take you guys through a pull workout. Got some cool things coming this weekend. Check this out. Things are in a little disarray right now. Got the Atlantis row coming out because I'm having my welder come tomorrow, and we're going to weld a bunch more machines. Lots of cool things I'm going to show you. I just came up with like 8 or 9 different ideas. Within the last 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to do some machines with a welder. Totally going to be one of a kind. You guys have never seen anything like it. You're going to want to stay tuned. But stay tuned and check out this cool pull workout on a Friday afternoon. So I just figured I'd film another workout for you on a weekday. So this is the one-arm row movement using the Medics handle on the Strive Extreme row, having removed the bench. This is one of my favorite back movements. So I'm doing kind of mostly end range and middle range with the band at the end range to make the movement harder. There's just a phenomenal feel. It's very hard to explain how amazing the tension is on the back and how you can manipulate it to hit the mid or an upper or lower back, depending on what position I stand in. But I love to have some sort of compound movement to start the workout, particularly with bands. It just feels phenomenal. And these Medics handles are just money. So then I'm just going to do a one-arm pull down on this Medics pull down with the U handles. So these U handles are kind of on the inside, and I'm kind of facing the machine. This is probably my favorite way to use this machine, but it's a phenomenal way just to do a one-arm pull down. Again, it's the same Medics handle I just showed you, except not pull down instead of the row. The way that it glides is just phenomenal. And the Medics selectorized stack is so smooth. There's like no friction at all. So I find this feels better facing in than facing out. If these arms are about 6 inches longer, it would be a perfect high row. That may be something I'd modify down the road, but kind of supersetting facing out to facing in, just one arm at a time. So then I'm going to do a little more mid-back. So this Nautilus Power Plus seated row, I'm going to do one all-out set neutral handles, one all-out set overhand, prone grip. I haven't used this machine in a while. I forget how smooth this is. Very, very small footprint, extremely a smooth strength curve. So probably one of my favorite pieces of the Power Plus line. Just a phenomenal strength curve. Very smooth and just hits the back extremely well. I put an extra pad in there. The cool thing was the chest pad has a little notch in it for your sternum, so it's a very, very comfortable pad. All right, so check this out. I just barely got this machine not long ago. This is literally the first time I'm using it. One of the very few row machines left on the list. There's maybe one more that I'd even have any interest in, but I've got all the other rows. This is the Panada Super Low Row. Phenomenal feel on this. So what I've found using it the first time is it feels better standing than it does sitting. With my elbow on there, the strength curve is very, very smooth. The handle allows that free movement, and it's an upward motion, so it's more of an upright row feel than it is a seated row. But the strength curve is fantastic. If the chest pad was adjustable or could rotate up and down, it would be even better. But I'm really impressed with this after my first use. Then a couple more movements. I'm going to go to this Atlantis Hyrule. Phenomenal piece. What I've found using this over time is deliberately lightening the weight and focusing specifically on this form right here. Instead of my feet being high, I keep my feet low and my torso upright, and I'm driving my elbows into my side. The stretch is phenomenal. So I'm trying to keep my chest upright and my feet low. You deliberately have to use lighter weight to really keep this form perfect. Otherwise, there's all sorts of Yiddish and English and momentum. And the cool thing with this machine is truly hitting those lumbar and iliac lats, as opposed to just upper back like any other row. And then I'm going to do a couple bicep and tricep movements. So this one-arm Nautilus Next Generation bicep turned to the side like a spider curl is just one of my favorite bicep movements now. I've got my torso to the side, my head down, the seat is all the way down, and I'm actually curling behind my head, so I'm getting shortening of the long head and the short head of the bicep, and a little bit of shoulder flexion and elbow flexion. There's just a phenomenal feel with this as opposed to just doing it straight on. And then just a one-arm kneeling tricep cable extension, focusing on that fully lengthened position where I'm getting that full stretch behind my head. Sometimes I'll use my other arm to stabilize my elbow to make sure I'm getting a full stretch, and I'm using only my tricep instead of using unnecessary body anguish. But still one of my favorite tricep movements. And then just another bicep tricep tricep. So if I were to say pick one movement that I think can build your arms, it's probably a hammer curl. You can do machine hammer curls like this, barbell hammer curls, but hammer curls truly are often the missing link to help grow your arms. And this machine just puts me in a perfect position to curl. I've showed this before. This is the Stairmaster Arcuate bicep curl. It's just one of my favorite ways to hammer curl. And then I'm going to superset that with a David tricep extension. Really cool machine. I superset it from a kickback movement to a seated press down movement. That's the cool thing with this. The strength curve of this is phenomenal. It's slightly narrow. I'm a decently wide guy, so I barely fit in there. It's a little bit narrow, but other than that, as many other David pieces, it's really hard to beat the strength curve on this. Now the arms are not independent like some other kickback machine movements I have are, but just a phenomenal piece. And you can see, like I said, I superset the kickback movement to I lean in the front of the pad and I push behind my head. It's almost a dip movement. Tell me what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe below. Like I said, welder coming tomorrow. You aren't going to want to miss some of these cool modifications and some of the cool workout programs we're going to be coming out with soon.